Hi there. Welcome to the 7th in a series of videos about how to use Managebac effectively in your MYP class. This video is dedicated to understanding how to grade things using Managebac and how to report MYP grades. It's a very important thing we've really had trouble with lately. We need to report their MYP assessment grades in one place, and that place is Managebac. Now, in the previous videos, we created two classes. We made two sophomore physics classes for first and second period. We made a unit, the waves unit. We added tasks and students. In the last video, we mastered having students submit their work through the Managebac Dropbox, and I hope I showed you why it's a helpful thing. Hopefully you'll see a few more reasons in this video. Now it comes to the reason we all became teachers. This is our favorite thing. It's grading. Managebac makes grading digital files relatively easy. It's a nice system. Now, starting from the home screen, I want to grade some of these electromagnetic wave presentation files. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the link to the item, and I'm going to move to the Dropbox. This is where the students have submitted their work. Of course, right now I only have one student, but in a real situation, I'd see many students here. Hopefully, I would see them all filled with work turned in, and I can always check when the work was turned in. This turns red if they're late, and so there's never any discussion on whether it's late or not. I can also see the turn it in score, as we saw before, but right now what I want to do is go look at the paper. If I click on the paper itself, I can see the paper pull up. Now, like I said in the last video, if it has to be a certain type of file for Managebac to be able to read it. PDFs work great. Word files work great. Other than that, you may have trouble. If a student turns in an OpenOffice or Pages file, just ask them to go back and submit a different format. Most modern editing softwares will let you save the file as most any different type. Now, in this case, I can go ahead and read the paper, and it's a great little paper. It has a big picture of, I guess, gamma rays being produced. Oh, John. Anyway, I can go ahead and read it and grade it, but one of the nice things Managebac will let me do is actually mark it up. If I click on this comment button, it'll let me actually mark the paper up and show John some of my thoughts. So, for example, I could highlight this entire, there we go. I could highlight this entire section. Yes, I do. And I could maybe write a note. I could make a note in red ink and say, how about stop copying from Wikipedia, which is where he actually did copy that from. You can add a bunch of different things. You could strike text out. You could draw, a frowny face because you're very upset. Oh, yes, that's great. Let's draw here. Oh, yeah. Yes, there you go. And we'll draw a frowny face because he obviously he copied it. I can highlight work, strike stuff out, make comments. So I make a comment here and say, this is awful. Now, where I've used this in the past is having students practice big lab reports, especially in the diploma program. I'll leave my comments, and then I'll ask the students to go back and reply to these comments. And I can actually see their replies in response to my comments about their work. This is a great way of not only grading the students' work, but actually letting them see why they got that grade. It's a much more effective way. It does take a little bit more time, sure, but it is more effective. Now, I've read this paper over, and I've determined that, especially since he copied everything, I'm just going to give this paper a 1 out of 8. He does not deserve a very good grade for this. I'm going to click on the gradebook button. This is going to allow me to store the grade for the MYP assessment. Now, notice it popped up a new window, so I can always go back and forth and whatever. And I see all my students. Now, I just have one student now, but I'll normally see all my students here, and I want to give them the grade of 1. Now, obviously, that's not a very good grade, but it's a way for us to submit our MYP grades. This is very important. When MYP evaluations happen, they're going to look for how we're submitting grades and letting students see them. So by putting a 1, I can say, don't copy next time. He'll be able to see how he did. I could even send a grade notification email if I want to be mean. This is a good way to show the grades and report them. Now let's look at things from John's perspective, from a student's perspective. I've now logged in as John McFake, our student, and let's go see our work. So I click on my electromagnetic wave presentation task like we did before. Again, the document telling me what to do, and the criteria is listed here for me. All the unit information is over here. Let's click on Dropbox, and I can see my paper. I can see my Turnitin score was an 82. Ooh, that's not too good. And I can see that it was annotated by Teacher McFake. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on that, and let's actually click on annotation, and we're going to see, look at those annotations. These are the annotations that Teacher McFake did. And I can even reply to them, I'm sorry. I can even beg for mercy on here if I want to. So students can annotate as well as teachers. If I want to see my grade, I can just click on task. Now, of course, technically this is a second term task, so normally this would pop up right away. And I can see for the electromagnetic wave presentation, I got a 1 out of 8. And it tells me what part of the criteria that was. I can look at the whole criteria if I would like to. And I can even see the comment about my work. And so as a student's able to see exactly what they did and hopefully get an idea of why they did it. Grading things on Managebac is very powerful. It allows the students to see what they did and how they could do better. It allows you to save time and not put different grades in different places. It allows you to not have to have paper turned in all the time. I hope you'll use this method of using Managebac to grade your papers, or at least allow you to grade your own papers.